UFP, the United Federation of Podcasts.
Engage.
78 years have passed since the days of the original USS Enterprise. Now a new Galaxy starship has been designed.
Transporter Chief, beam our listeners aboard. Welcome to Galaxy Class, a Star Trek Next Generation podcast here on the United Federation of Podcast Network. I am your host, Counselor Amy Nelson. With me this week, Diplomatic Standard Bearer Kevin Scharf and Coordinator of Festive Season Festivities, Joe Keegan.
Yeah, why not?
Kevin, hello. Joe, hello.
Hello.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah, nice to see you guys too.
Yes.
So festive festivities, Joe, as opposed to miserable festivities? Like, are there specific festive things that are happening?
No, do you know what? I threw it in today because, I was very annoyed at Ewan wanted to watch a Christmas movie today and it's still November, so we watched a Christmas movie this afternoon, which was called A Castle for Christmas, starring Brooke Shields.
Oh.
Where she's a famous American author and all her fans hate her because she killed off their favourite character and she moves to Scotland and buys a castle. It's eye-rollingly, stereotypically inaccurate, but it's kind of fun and warm and cosy. It's Christmas.
Was there a bearded Scottish lad who swept her off her feet? Who maybe was the groundskeeper of the castle?
No, it was the owner of the castle who was a duke, wasn't he? And he was... He wasn't really my type, let's say that. But there wasn't any... It wasn't like typical Hollywood eye candy in it, so it was nice. I felt a little annoying.
Well, I actually did watch a Christmas movie, which I don't tend to, but Rekha Sharma on her Twitter posted a movie that she was in, and I watched it, Cookies for Christmas. And it was very cute. Rekha did a great job. And it's so weird. She played a great romantic comedy role. And it's so different, because I know her from Battlestar and Star Trek, where she's like action and, very action oriented. And then we get her in a nice romantic comedy and it was fun.
Yeah, I saw Rekha in something recently and I didn't recognize her purely because what I've seen her in before is completely different.
Well, I've only watched one movie this week, and it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So
how was it?
It was fun. Yeah, it's a movie I hadn't seen in years and years.
Which one, like the
original 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Wow.
So, have you decorated for Christmas yet?
I put my tree up this morning. A friend came by this morning with a housewarming gift, and it was some Christmas ornaments and a beautiful star tree topper for my tree. So I thought I better put the tree up. As someone who represents the Christmas community quite a lot, it's probably best if I have such decorations in my house.
Represents the Christmas community. It sounds weird. It sounds like you're the mayor of Christmastown or something.
Yes.
Well, I kind of am. If you ever see me in public between American Thanksgiving and Christmas, you might not know.
I am a fan of 12 days before and 12 days after, and if you do it before or after those times, then you should be put in the sea.
So do you have a special family or relative or person that you have in mind for 12 days?
What do you mean? I'm just meaning like you put up your Christmas tree up 12 days before Christmas and take it down 12 days after.
Oh,
That's
okay,
all. What did you mean? I'm intrigued now, though.
So I thought it was tradition, but the 12 days of Christmas, you choose a family and every day you give them a gift for the 12
that's too
days
expensive.
of Christmas.
Too many gifts. I don't like anybody that much to give them that many gifts.
I've done that many times, like especially through my church when I was active, we would highlight a family in need and, give them the 12 days of Christmas to help their holidays.
That's a lovely idea. It's not a tradition I've ever heard of before.
Oh, okay.
And maybe an American thing or
Yeah.
a church thing. I'm not sure.
That might be. Well, let's check the communication array to see if we have any comments from our listeners.
Logs accessed.
We have some feedback about Galaxy Class episode 65, which was Ray and I's Destination Star Trek London recap, and it's an email from our very good friend Mark White. And weirdly, I feel like I know Mark White, even though I've never met him before. I've never met him in real life. It's online interactions only.
Oh, that's funny. I was like, no, you met him at STLV, but then I remembered you weren't there.
I wasn't there. I wasn't there, Amy. Ria and Joe, I really enjoyed your recap of Destination Star Trek London. I recently went to my first big Star Trek convention in August at the no longer officially called STLV convention. It's called STLV. Just call it STLV. Call it whatever you want. Yeah, it was fun to hear about the similarities and differences between the two, and I must say I think both conventions did have to scale back a bit this year. Although, as Joe pointed out, at least in Vegas we had those. I'll never go over that. Like, it was so difficult to actually buy a drink.
And that was so weird because, Joe, I've heard you talk about Destination and like how fun it is hanging out at the bar with the actors and that's sort of the downtime. And to not have that available, that was really weird, I'm sure.
Is that just a COVID thing in London right now? Or
I don't know if it's COVID or the location, time of year. It's kind of outside the centre of London at the Docklands where the Excel is. I don't know if it just wasn't busy enough for them to open the bars. Just very strange. Anyway, I should probably finish Mark's email. Patrick Warburton was one of the actors that I wanted to meet in Vegas. However, his table was usually crowded when I walked over. David Ajala, peanut butter jelly Ajala sandwich.
Yes.
Yeah, we know him. David Ajala also made an appearance at Vegas, but the line was stretched out of the convention hall, down the strip, across the desert, and ended up somewhere near Area 51. I can quite believe that, Mark. So needless to say, I did not get to meet him either. However, I did have an amazing interaction with Noah Everback Katz, who I will agree is a true gift to the Star Trek universe and its fans. Thank you, Mark.
I have to say, I'm a lot like Amy. You've mentioned that you get nervous when you're meeting people who've been on. I'm the same way. When I went to STLV in 2019, I felt like I was bothering them if they're sitting at their tables, but they're there to meet us. Like, that's why they're there. But I did have a lovely interaction with Mary Chieffo at that convention. She was there with a dog. So, like, that was an entryway into a conversation. So, that's what... Maybe if all the actors bring pets, I'll be able to talk to them easier.
Well, thank you, Mark. That was a wonderful email.
Now, from the Federation Council Chambers, Paul Wright Jr. wrote, "It sounds like you all had a great time. I wish I could have made it. Looking forward to seeing you all in Chicago." Fingers crossed emoji, Vulcan symbol emoji, heart emoji.
Yes, we are definitely looking forward to Chicago.
Plans are afoot.
Listeners, we just talked about it off air before starting recording, and I'm really thinking that we're going to have the majority of hosts from the network at Chicago. So if you are interested at all in meeting the hosts of the network, please plan on seeing us in Chicago. I'm thinking we're going to have a little meetup dinner with the listeners like we've done before. Well, previously on Trek FM, we had a little meetup and stuff. So.
So I ended up here. That dinner is
That's
how
right.
I ended up
That's
here.
true.
The convention itself doesn't seem too overpriced. I thought the ticket prices were quite reasonable. But hotel rooms are like...
This is the captain. Senior officers will report to my ready room immediately.
Well, let's get into today's discussion, which is First Contact, the movie, not the episode. We always have to clarify. That's so funny that they chose that. So the reason we are discussing this is because this week over Thanksgiving, it has turned 25 years old. Can you believe it's been 25 years?
Shut up.
No, that movie could not be that old.
Did you see it first run?
Well, I was telling you guys off air that I am positive, and I can't confirm this with any online backup, but I am positive that the city of Toronto had an event called Star Trek The Weekend in the fall of 1996, And there were Star Trek events all across the city, in museums and at all kinds of tourist attractions, the CN Tower, Ontario Place, Science Centre. And part of your ticket to the weekend included a sneak preview screening of Star Trek First Contact. And I'm sure that several actors, writers, producers, directors maybe were at the screening that I saw in Toronto. And I want to say it was at least a week before it opened wide internationally. But I cannot confirm that with anything. I cannot find any information about that online. So if any of our listeners attended Star Trek The Weekend in the fall of '96 in Toronto, please let me know so that I know my memory has not gone crazy.
Yes, it might just be a figment of your imagination, so we need confirmation.
I swear I met George Takei at the top of the CN Tower. I swear I did.
Those were some fun drugs you were doing at the time, Kevin.
And I remember doing a sit down with Richard Arnold, who was one of Gene Roddenberry's associates and collaborators, and again at a restaurant at the top of the CN Tower. So again, I have these vivid memories, and I almost remember sleeping on my cousin's floor that weekend because I just didn't. I was young and didn't have enough money for a hotel room, So, but I can't find any confirmation of it online. You would think an event that size would be online somewhere, but my Google searches have turned up empty.
I remember seeing it. My memories aren't so outrageous and outlandish. Yeah. So I remember seeing it at the local UCI cinema in Clydebank, which is the town I grew up in, and I'm sure my mum was there, and loved the movie. But my overriding memory of it was that I hated the soundtrack. I know.
Oh.
I see the theme tune, the opening theme, that First Contact theme, which totally makes sense. Mm-hmm. It's got the grandeur required of meeting aliens for the first time. But I think what stuck in my head was the fact that it was most of the movie is a battle with the Borg. So I wanted something that reflected that. But then I was forgetting that actually no, the whole thing is about First Contact and meeting the Vulcans for the first time. So yeah, that theme tune didn't work for me initially. It was only after I thought about it that it actually made sense. Imagine not liking that theme tune though.
It's crazy. Yeah, crazy. Youth and stupidity go hand in hand. So
well, I know. Even the title. I watched the movie earlier today, and you know what? It was one of those things I didn't actually have to watch it because you know it like the back of your hand. Mm-hmm. So I would go away and potter about and do stuff, and I knew I could see it in my head as I heard the audio from the other room.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just such a good movie that it's a Christmas movie, I think, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, it was released over Thanksgiving, so.
Oh, so yeah, it counts. If Die Hard's a Christmas movie, Star Trek First Contact might as well be.
I thought Generations was the Christmas movie.
Oh, that's got a Christmas tree in it, so.
Yeah, that sort of trumps.
Counts.
Yes.
When did you see it, Amy?
Well, I don't, I have such a hard time with this question because I didn't really start my fandom until 2000. And so I feel like, because I had watched Next Gen, I feel like I went to the movies with my dad and brothers who absolutely love, and we were going to, big action movies together. So I want to say, yes, I've seen it in the movies, but I just don't recall. My memory of First Contact has always been on DVD.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say that you were so old now that you couldn't actually remember going to see it, but
that too. Not gonna lie, that too.
25 years ago, though. 25 years.
Yeah.
I don't feel older than 25, though.
I know. It's crazy. It's really crazy.
I will say there are very few movies from 25 years ago where I remember where and how I saw them. And so the fact that Star Trek First Contact sits so prominent in my memory is a big deal. That's what it tells you about this film.
For sure.
I've just Googled movies from 1996. Twister.
Oh, wow.
I love the movie Twister. I went through this period in my life at that time where I wanted to go tornado chasing. And it's got the Toremos song, Tallulah, in the soundtrack.
Oh.
So that's a reason to love it even there. Jingle All the Way. with Arnold Schwarzenegger, The Rock, Sean Connery, is that not an Alcatraz? From Dusk Till Dawn.
Wow. 96 was
Scream. Scream was out in 96.
Mission Impossible.
Oh, there you go.
A Time to Kill.
Independence Day.
Well, yeah, okay, there we are.
The
We
Nutty
needed to go
Professor.
a little earlier in the summer months.
Jerry Maguire. Train Spotting. You not seen Train Spotting?
Never even heard of it.
What? Ewan McGregor
Oh, yeah, no.
plays a heroin addict.
Oh, Pamela Anderson's Barbed Wire came out in 1996. So there's a classic that
She won
everybody should
Oscars for that, didn't she? Like all of them.
see. She might have. My favorite Disney animated film came out in 1996. That was The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh no, it's The Hunchback of Notre
I love that
Dame.
movie.
If you're in
Terrible.
America, Notre Dame.
Well, I'm not in America. It's Notre
Same.
Dame.
Yeah. Amy, can you say the name of that movie?
Well, the movie, and the reason I know is Notre Dame, but the football team is Notre Dame. So there you have it. That's how I distinguish. So I say it correctly because I follow college football.
Are all the football players like got hunchbacks and shout for Esmeralda? Pass me the ball, Esmeralda.
They do. Don't you see those big
Yeah. I
pads,
think they're shoulder pads, yeah.
Yep. They hide the hunchback. Yep.
Got it. Listeners, just before we recorded, I posted on the Federation Council Chambers that we were talking about this movie, asking for your comments. And I think, Kevin, we have a comment.
We do. It's from Christos Gianaris, and he says it's a great movie, top 3 for sure, with Wrath of Khan and Undiscovered Country. I like how the whole TNG cast gets utilized in this movie, and it also elevated Trek's cinematic scope. It felt like a blockbuster movie, not an episode of Trek. And I couldn't agree more.
Blockbuster indeed. Thank you.
Thanks, Christos. We love you.
Well, hey, let's talk about some of these guest stars because I absolutely love Alfre Woodard. Like, love.
Yeah, she's great. Yeah.
Is it the Star Trek movie with the most famous cast? Oh no, I suppose all Star Trek movies have big casts in them. I'm thinking Tom Hardy in Nemesis and the guys from Insurrection, the Admiral guy, he was really famous. And the
Admiral
other guy
Doherty.
that guy with the face.
That guy, yep. Oh, yeah.
F.
What was
Murray
his
Abraham.
name? Yes. Yep.
Was that F. Murray Abraham? Yeah.
And Anthony Zerbe. Whoa.
Wow.
How did I get those names? Do you know what, listeners? I couldn't remember the name James Cromwell, even though it came up in the quiz like a couple of weeks back, and I still couldn't remember it. Who played Zephram Cochrane? Brain.
Yep.
No.
And
But
Kevin and I, all we could remember was Babe, and then finally Kevin came up with it.
Babe.
That's right.
Do you remember the episodes that James Cromwell played in both TNG and Deep Space Nine? Because that was the bonus. Do you remember?
Was it the one, it was Birthright, wasn't it?
Birthright.
He played the wee alien dude,
That got
alien
Worf
dude.
to
'cause
go.
Yes.
And then something in Deep Space Nine.
Something.
But that was Birthright as well, because it was set on Deep Space Nine.
Oh, no, because
No,
it says that
it
he was on an episode of Deep Space Nine. Or was it just...
He was a big tall alien, but he's a big tall actor, so he's going to play a big tall alien. I cannot remember. But yeah, F. Murray Abraham and Anthony Zerbe. There you go, Brain. I've remembered.
Now, interesting, I did not realize that Ethan Phillips was in this movie, and he plays the maitre d' in the holodeck scene when they go in. Did you know that?
I knew that, because you recognise his voice before you recognise his face.
Yes.
But I had forgot it when I watched it this morning. I was like, oh, there you go. Because it's just after Robert Picardo's in it as the EMH. And I was like, oh, yeah, he's in it as well. And then we got another Voyager alum alongside him.
So I found out that Robert Picardo actually convinced the filmmakers that the new Enterprise should have, that type of technology, EMH. And therefore, he just wrote himself right into the film. So good job, Picardo.
That's cool.
Yeah. Okay, so Do you think
So there's
that,
nothing else to say about that. So.
That's okay. Yeah. So do you think that the characters get development in this movie? I feel like it's lopsided, and I feel like Beverly does not get any development. She's the one that by far, hands down.
Yeah.
I think the only development for Troy is we get to see drunk Troy.
Mm-hmm.
Is that really development?
I know. Well, it shows that she can have fun and, no, it's not really development. So what do you guys think? Do you feel like...
It's really Picard. Like, Picard gets all of it. It's his movie, isn't it?
I think Picard and Data, because Data with the interaction with the Borg Queen.
Yeah, Picard's right. Like, if we're putting them in order, Picard definitely top, because it's how this has him re-encountering the Borg for the first time since Best of Both Worlds. I think that's accurate.
Yeah.
Well, Hugh, because he...
Iborg,
sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course, yeah. Okay, so it's his first interaction with Borg since then. Even though they are Borg, but they're not Borg because they're not part of a collective. They're a collective of Borg individuals. And Iborg.
Right.
I suppose this is his first interaction since Best of Both Worlds, with the idea that there's a Borg Queen, his counterpart in the collective.
Well, we didn't talk about her as a guest star, Alice Krige as the Borg Queen.
Do we have to?
She's the best one, yes.
I know, she scares me though.
This was a big development, right? This was a leap forward in the story arc of the Borg, right? That everybody had just been a mindless drone up till this point, and to have sort of a unimind that sort of oversaw the whole entire collective was new information to us. So I thought, if you look at and going back to character development, if you look at the poster for Star Trek First Contact, the three faces on it are Picard in front, Data just behind him, and the Borg Queen behind him. So that sort of leads you to say these are the three most important characters in this film: Picard, Data, and the Borg Queen, which sort of leaves the other one of our main cast, the others of our main cast sort of
secondary,
scraps of character
development.
So
with the Borg Queen, Alice Krige, that is what set up the Voyager idea of having the Queen. The movie came out first,
this came
therefore,
first.
okay.
Yeah.
So just another iteration of the Queen. You can have it, I suppose, if one Queen dies, you just pick up somewhere else and have a new Queen. Mm-hmm. It's all one big hive mind. I think, do you know what? The rest of the TNG cast don't really get a look in. Worf's on it for a bit to fight the Borg, and then there's the scene on the deflector dish where he has to strap his leg up because he's going to die of lack of oxygen. Riker doesn't really do much. He's on
just
the
a
planet.
very good first officer, right? He's managing things on the ground. Yeah. Picard's managing things up on the ship. And I feel like, as far as character development, like Riker is doing exactly what Riker does. I don't see any growth. He's doing exactly what he does. I think with Troy, she's doing more than what she would normally do, like helping the launch of the Phoenix, which I sort of fired. Why is she doing the countdown?
Oh, she's on command track.
Yeah.
That's probably the only way to explain it, as well as the Borg attack on the base maybe killed some people that were going to do the countdown.
Were Riker and Troy an engaged couple?
No, their relationship started in Insurrection that led them to marriage.
Insurrection.
Mind with the whole shaving his face and feeling all youthful and in love again. It's weird for me. See, the title First Contact feels like First Contact should be the A storyline, but the A storyline is the Borg and fighting the Borg and Picard wrangling with that, and the B storyline is getting the Phoenix ready for First Contact. So it's weird how they both kind of flipped in terms of the name.
Right, yeah. And this movie, I feel with those two parts just makes me feel like it's Star Trek, Next Generation, your A plot and B plot, because we're so used to seeing that in the episodes. And so it's just very familiar with these plot lines. I just love it. Geordi I think, would you say that his character grows in this at all? Because he's working better with Reg, so we like seeing that. He's still sort of the fanboy with Zephram Cochrane and telling him, I went to Zephram Cochrane High School. But I don't know that we see his character develop anymore.
Now, we find a bit more about his backstory, I suppose, and find out where he went to high school. But it doesn't develop in any way. He's just a Geordie we've all come to know and love.
Mm-hmm.
He's Geordie being Geordie. Plus, I mean, he's super stoked to be meeting Cochrane, right? I mean, that's part of his shtick in this film is to be the guy who's like awed by meeting a super important historical figure.
You would not be.
Like, he's a legend of engineering.
He invented the warp drive, and your main job on the ship is to make the warp drive work. So I totally get that. I suppose it's like us going to a Star Trek convention.
There are many fans who believe that The Wrath of Khan is a superior movie, and I disagree. One of the reasons is that I feel that this theme of revenge, especially paired with Moby Dick, is so much stronger, is a way more viable reason for Picard to even be vengeful compared to Khan being left on a planet and not being checked up on by Kirk. Like, why Khan is so upset, I don't understand. And therefore that movie, it's not one of my favorites. But this one, it's very clear. Picard was hurt in a way that is undescribable, against his will, has survived. And that scene with him and Lily in there, where it's like, she's like, I get it. They hurt you and you want to hurt them. Like, it's just so beautifully put and paired with, a real life book, Moby Dick, of that theme of revenge. It's just so crystal clear. I feel that Star Trek First Contact does revenge the best in this movie, especially compared to Wrath of Khan.
I love Wrath of Khan. I was thinking before you just spoke there that this movie really is the Wrath of Khan for the next generation, right? This is, I think we can, as much as I do enjoy the other three next gen films, I think this one is the best. It's my favorite. It's got this cool plot. It gives Picard's a really interesting motivation. It's got action. It's got comedy. Whereas Wrath of Khan is like Kirk versus Khan. It's two minds battling it out. This is Picard versus an entire civilization of the Borg collective, right? So the stakes are higher here too than in Wrath of Khan, which
elevates,
which ratchets up the tension of this film for me. In a lot of ways, this movie reminds me of Alien. Just you don't know when you can be taken over or enveloped by the enemy at any time. It's spooky and dark, but has its light comedy moments too. And and I will say that there are characters in this film that they try to make you care about, so that when they do get assimilated, you're upset. I'm talking here about Neil McDonough's character, Lieutenant Hawk, who gets assimilated, so they're pulling out all the stops here. This was Jonathan Frakes' directorial debut of a feature film too, wasn't it? Like, this is the first movie he's directed, and he did a bang-up job on this movie, I think.
I feel like Star Trek 2 has one storyline, and I've not seen it in a while, so I stand to be corrected, but I feel like it's just that, it's like you say, Kevin, it's the battle between Kirk and Khan and their crews. There doesn't seem to be a B-plot in any way. First Contact has the First Contact plot, trying to get the Phoenix launched so they can meet the Vulcans. It's got the battle with the Borg, that whole revenge plot. Is there a C-plot in First Contact as well? Data's character development is a C-plot.
Yeah, I want to talk about that next. So
I think we get more plots to follow. It's maybe a more intricate intricately woven story in First Contact. In Star Trek 2 is The Wrath of Khan, and then now we're on Star Trek, 8? Is this 8? Star Trek 8, The Wrath of Picard. So is it the story, the storytelling way has evolved, possibly?
That's a really good point, because, there are definitely some years between Wrath of Khan and, First Contact. I think we should call it The Wrath of Picard. Okay.
I think we should. Okay. We've said it here now, listeners.
Yes. Okay. I do really like the B plot, or I guess we would say C plot, of Data's character development becoming the closest to humanity that he's ever gotten to at this point. I would say his ultimate act would be in Nemesis, where he gives his life to save Picard. But here, like the whole thing with the Queen and the getting the skin and him protecting the skin. And then at the end, my favorite line of the movie where Data's confessing that he considered, the Queen's offer, and Picard's like, "You did?" And he's like, "Yes, for 0.68 seconds. And for an android, that is eternity." And so he had that thought of, oh my gosh, this could happen. I could reach my lifelong dream to become more human through the Queen and through the Borg. I love that. I love seeing that character development with Data.
No, you're right. It's one of those decisions where it's so enticing, but the price is too high. But then you think, obviously at the end, you think the Borg have won when they're going to destroy the Phoenix.
Yeah.
And Data plays into that really well. But all is not lost because Data is loyal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I do like that they play with your expectations with Data, that you do get the feeling that he may betray his friends because of what's going on. I think that's really fun, and it gives Brent Spiner something really juicy to play in the film as well. It would have been nice if every character had gotten those kinds of plots, but then the movie would have been 4 hours long.
So what do you think about, from Generations, one of the story plots was Data getting his emotions, and now in First Contact, we see Data in control of his emotions and then just flipping a switch where Picard is like, "Data, I envy you sometimes." Because Data's feeling all the emotions, and then flip of a switch. Do you think that's just a writer's way to say we don't want to deal with Data's emotions this movie?
I think Data's emotions, because the emotion chip is still relatively new at this point, Data's emotions are going to be like the emotions of a 2-year-old, potentially all over the place. And when you're fighting for your life, you don't want to be in that position. You want the Data that you know and can trust.
Yeah, and I think because we see Data as this 2-year-old emotional person in Generations. I would absolutely agree with you. So here, are we just thinking there's just enough time? Data's figured out how to control by switching him off? I mean, that doesn't seem fair to those of us with emotions.
I don't know. I think we can. I think we adapt to having emotions, don't we, as humans? I think we can, if you're resilient enough and you're mature enough, you can control them, not switch them off. You still have them, but they're in check a lot of the time. I will always still cry when Spock dies in Star Trek 2, and when that Vulcan ship lands at the end of First Contact. So you know what? I know. Even thinking about it's making me go. So yeah, our emotions are. Can't switch them off, obviously, because they're always going to be there. Listeners, I've teared up just thinking about the Vulcan ship landing and Spock dying simultaneously.
Oh my goodness!
Which is like, these two things are overwhelming my ability to control them. It's not fair. I need to drink more wine, listeners.
Yes.
Seriously.
Oh, that'll make you less emotional.
It's like, this episode is called Therapy for Joe. Oh dear. Yeah, I think I even remember crying in the cinema. The music, with the idea that everything in Star Trek up to this point all comes down. This is the nexus. This is the genesis of everything that is Star Trek. This first meeting of humans and another alien civilization, which is humans, which was Kirk, and aliens, which was Spock. This is the very first thing that we see. You try to get what words fail me.
Yeah, you see what starts the entire franchise. We get to see it here in this movie. And it's monumental, it's important, it's significant. It's what launches TOS. And it's so well done, paying homage to the original series with Ephraim Cochrane, but yet it is a very beautiful story that really, I think, bookends, at least up until 1996, the Star Trek franchise.
It's not even that far away. It's only, 42 years away? In 2063?
Oh my goodness. Let's make this happen.
Do you think we can develop FTL in the next 42 years?
Sure.
We are on a good start of getting more accustomed to space.
Mm-hmm. I think the next big leap is finding an energy source can allow us to do that. And right now we just don't know.
Well, hey, do you, after now seeing Picard, see any links from First Contact to Picard or other series?
Well, I mean, they still pick up the psychological thread of his Borg mind invasion in Picard. So even all those years later, after this has happened, and it seems like he's worked out his issues, they're still there. I mean, they will be part of him for the rest of his life. Which is, interesting. I think that's sort of the main thing. That picks up on what happened in Best of Both Worlds, though, more so than this, but it is a continuation of his growth.
There's a scene on the Borg cube in Picard where Hugh is leading him and all the Borg drones are kind of coming towards him. And they're there, they recognise Locutus.
Yes.
And they just want to protect him. But Jean-Luc sees it as an attack. But they're just, his drones are scared that he's going to fall over the edge of some kind of precipice.
That's right. I forgot about that.
So that kind of plays into this idea that he's still scarred by the trauma of being assimilated by the Borg. But the Borg obviously still love him.
Well, and that ties into that exact scene where Picard's talking to the Queen and saying, that's it. You want me to give myself willingly to be a partner to reign with you, and so then that totally brings back, those drones where it's like Locutus was their leader in part for a time. So definitely.
It's something that I never really understood. And why did they need a Locutus, a male leader, when they had a queen?
She wanted a partner.
But what?
To share the burden.
Yeah, but we didn't know that during Best of Both Worlds.
But in Best of Both Worlds, they wanted like an emissary, a go-between, someone who was human to talk to the Federation. That was the excuse in Best of Both Worlds. And
they also wanted his knowledge of Federation tactics and technology as well. Who better to assimilate than the captain of the flagship of your fleet?
It's just an interesting, because obviously the analogy exists with the beehives on Earth. And that's where they come up with the hive mind idea. And queen bees lead their hives. And that's just what they do. They don't need a male counterpart. No. As far as I'm aware, they don't need a king bee to come in and do his big strutty bee thing that he does. So I get the idea that they wanted Picard purely for his Starfleet knowledge. But I suppose any high-ranking Starfleet officer could have been used for that. I'm not sure the Borg Queen... Because humanities, or the Federation, being a collection of alien races, is going to be no different to anybody else that the Borg have assimilated. Right. It's just another race and just another collection of information that you want.
Well, maybe they have a Locutus type person for each species so that they have someone communicating, sort of like a cabinet. Maybe. I don't know, an idea. Well, we do get the in-universe joke in Deep Space Nine where Quark paraphrases Picard in the Deep Space Nine episode, The Dogs of War. And he says, Quark says, I won't preside over the demise of Ferengi civilization. The line has to be drawn here, this far and no further. When I was doing my Deep Space Nine rewatch, absolutely laughed out loud when I saw that.
Totally missed that. Love it.
All right, guys. Well, how about some Easter eggs or trivia for the movie? Well, I was surprised to see that the Phoenix was shot inside a genuine nuclear silo. So real production value right there.
I love it when movies do things in real... all movies are filmed in real locations that have kind of real functions in real life, like the first Avengers movie at the beginning where they've got the Tesseract and Loki opens the portal and comes through to Earth, and it's a shield base that's deep underground. That is actually a massive vacuum chamber. So they can seal the doors and they can suck out all the atmosphere inside until there's like 0.5 gram of air in it.
Wow.
So they can
That's
test out
awesome.
things. It was designed in like the mid 20th century as a place to test, I want to say, nuclear power or something like that. As a physics function.
Yeah, to be testing in a vacuum.
Getting back to First Contact trivia, Brannon Braga, one of the producers and writers of this movie, he also joined the fun and played he was an extra in a holodeck scene. So that's kind of cool that he put himself into the film. I would.
I know, right?
Why not?
I think that's probably why they had the holodeck scene, just purely for people to have wee cameos in it and just in their real life everyday wear. On the deflector dish control panel, we see the reading Maglock AE35, which is a reference to AE35 antenna dish mentioned by HAL 9000 in 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Very cool.
That movie was very influential in Star Trek. Yeah.
It's where they, I think it's the first instance where we get a tablet device in the 2001.
Oh, in 2001?
Kubrick invented the iPad, essentially. I know Star Trek always gets credited with it, but it was actually in 2001: A Space Odyssey, which was 1977, wasn't it?
It was in 1968.
Oh
no, 1977 was the year I was born. Never mind.
Joe.
That was Star Wars.
1977, okay. 60. So yeah, Kubrick gets the iPad invention.
And thanks to Joe for our non-First Contact trivia. Everything else.
Yeah.
Well, I found this very, very exciting. The Borg lights on their eyepiece is not just random blinks, my friends. This is Morse code, and it's spelling out names of production crew members. Now, how cool is that?
That's very cool. Very, very
I
cool.
love that.
How do you program something like that?
Oh, it's just
amazing.
flashy lights, isn't it? It's easy.
Yep. On, off.
The movie was originally called Star Trek Resurrection, but the movie Alien Resurrection came out first. So they had to change it, and other names that were considered were Star Trek Destinies, Star Trek Regenerations, and Star Trek Borg.
I'm not loving any of them.
Those titles would have
Right?
First Contact works.
No.
I agree. I did not like Destinies. That's like my least favorite. I don't like the way that it's spelled. I don't know. That's a big negative.
These all sound like fan productions, don't they?
Yeah.
I'm not going to name any fan productions, but they all seem like lesser works.
Yes.
Well, wasn't there a novel trilogy called Star Trek Destiny?
Oh, Destiny. Yeah.
Didn't Star Trek Destiny was a trilogy of novels that wrapped up the Borg storyline?
Oh, maybe that's okay. All right.
What was the one with Ezra Dax being the captain? Was that not Destiny?
That was
Oh,
part
was
of
it?
the,
Okay.
the Destiny trilogy. Yeah.
The Borg
Alright.
Queen was the only female villain in the movies in the franchise.
That's a little surprising.
Yeah.
And I was
A
thinking,
little
well,
bit
we've
sexist.
had when I found this, I was like, well, that's not true. We had Osira in Discovery. Thank you. I had Destiny in my mind. So I was like, well, we had Osira, but that's a TV series. That's not a movie. I think.
Yeah, and there have been other female villains too, like Lursa and B'Etor and Ardra. Those are a couple that come off.
But for a major film,
the Board Queen.
It's all so
Larsa and
interesting.
Bator were before.
They're not the...
They destroyed the Enterprise.
But they weren't in a movie. Oh, they were in Generations, weren't they?
No,
but they weren't the
were
villain
not.
of the film.
Really. Yeah. We're not putting them as villains. They're just,
Did they destroy the Enterprise?
They're not the villain, Joe.
They do.
I know, but there's many villains. Thingy, what's it? Soren is the villain?
Yes.
But Larsa and Bator. Larsa and Bator are the head honchos, aren't they? And Soren's just using them.
Yeah. See, Soren's the villain because he's using them.
But I think, no. Okay.
So Ira Stephen Bear petitioned the writers to spare the Defiant. So thankfully, when Worf transfers over and Worf's his famous line, "Little ship," they say that the Defiant is salvageable. So we have Ira Stephen Bear to thank for that.
Well, they couldn't have finished Deep
Right?
Space Nine without the Defiant, really, could they? This is big. Tom Hanks was considered to play Zefram Cochrane. Would have been an interesting film, but he may have been too big a star.
Back then?
Do you think he would have...
Let's see. His breakout was big.
in
Oh no, he broke out before then.
Big was in the 80s. Bosom Buddies.
Yeah,
He's done Bosom Buddies. He, his Bachelor Party was a sort of big breakout hit. Joe versus a Volcano. Philadelphia had already come out by 96.
97, yeah.
So,
okay.
James Cromwell, great. Would have been a different film with Tom Hanks.
But he was in conflict with the shooting schedule. That's why.
Oh, was that all it was?
It would have been interesting to have Tom Hanks.
It would have been interesting.
Can I come back to the tough little ship thing about the Defiant?
Yeah.
Sure.
Nothing about the Defiant is little. Maybe in Star Trek terms, like it's a smaller ship than the other capital ships that we see. But it's 170 metres long. 170 metres is like nearly double the diagonal of a football field.
Oh.
That's long. That'll take you like a minute or two to walk.
Yeah.
And the Millennium Falcon is much, much smaller.
Which does give an appearance in this movie. Did you know?
The Millennium Falcon?
It shows up in the fight scene with the cube.
Yeah, okay. I'm sure I've seen that.
Oh, I can go to bed now.
I was going to put that in the trivia, but I'm like, everyone's talked about that, so I didn't.
I don't know how I missed that.
So I think, is it not something to do with Industrial Light and Magic did effects for Star Wars and Star Trek?
Yes,
back in the day?
IRL. Yep.
Could be, yeah. That makes sense.
So, like in 2009, there is an R2-D2 flying in space.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Yep.
All those little things. Patrick Stewart starred as Captain Ahab in a miniseries of Moby Dick in 1998, which is 2 years after First Contact. So very familiar with the themes and hard to believe that he didn't read it. Who didn't read it? Like Patrick Stewart?
Picard, when he's
Okay.
like, I actually never read it.
Yeah, of course he has. Well, no, he has.
Yes.
Picard's read everything, hasn't he?
Exactly.
Just downloads books into his brain.
All right, guys. Well, let me ask you, what is the legacy of First Contact? What are your final thoughts for this movie? Kevin, let's start with you.
The legacy of First Contact. I think it showed that Star Trek can do action as well as it can combine action with character moments and with our Star Trek themes too, right? And I think in a lot of ways this is the most successful of these Star Trek films. It's just, I think it had a really wide appeal, not to just Star Trek fans, but people from outside fandom really enjoyed this film because it was such a really cool romp and great action adventure movie. So I think we could use, and I think they tried again with the 2009 J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies to recapture that kind of magic. But I think we need to keep striving for that too, so that the fandom and the number of people who watch Star Trek continues to grow, so that we keep getting good Star Trek for the foreseeable future. So I like to think of First Contact as a benchmark in Star Trek films. If it's not my favorite, it is for sure in the top 3 of my favorite Star Trek films. So,
Joe?
It's interesting. It's definitely, I think it's in my top 2 because I'm a bit of an action movie junkie. So Wrath of Khan and First Contact are up there in joint first place almost. But I love all Star Trek movies. I haven't seen The Final Frontier in a long, long time, but I will watch it. The Hokey God storyline is a bit of a nonsense. I love the grandeur of the motion picture. It's just so big and it's quite cerebral. You have to think. It's like proper science fiction. Wrath of Khan, First Contact are more action stories, which I naturally gravitate to. First Contact gave us the whole Borg thing and continued it, allowing Voyager to use it. Then we got the Borg references in Picard. First Contact to Voyager to 7 of 9 in Picard. We each had that whole storyline as well. So there's a longer lasting legacy. And it shows us what First Contact is with the Vulcans, the first species that humans ever met outside whatever's on Earth. So yeah, it will long live as a favourite Star Trek movie among fans. I don't think the more recent Kelvinverse movies quite stand up to that. Although I will say that, kind of with the proviso that First Contact was in my formative years, and I'll look on it with a lot of nostalgia rather than what's newer. But I think as you get older, your eye becomes a bit more critical. Amy, what about you?
Well, listening to both of you, definitely there is a legacy with this movie. And as you're saying, like which movies are good? For me, I lump them like First Contact, Nemesis. We all know I love Nemesis. Those two are tied head to head. I cannot decide. It just depends on what mood I will think about. Well, which one do I want to watch? And I sort of just listen and decide because they're both my favorite. And you guys brought up the 09, the J.J. Abrams, the Kelvin timeline, excuse me. And with the themes that we get from First Contact and even all of the TNG movies, like we can put a theme to them. We don't get that much with the newer movies. I would say the original series, like there's a theme involved with it. And so when I'm sort of comparing, I love 09, but Beyond to me comes back and we have this theme of unity, working together. Like to me, that's the big theme of Beyond. And so I would put First Contact on the level of Beyond because Beyond has that theme. I also like the legacy of the First Contact, as you were talking about, like with the Borg and how that goes through in Voyager and in Picard. But I feel like the movies for the next gen, we have these identifiable classic TNG aliens. And I love that our movies focus on it because you get really with the original series, the conflict with the Klingons. And so that sort of Klingons belongs to TOS. I would say for sure the Borg belong to TNG, even though Voyager picks up on it quite heavily. So I think that's shared. But I like that we get that and like the Romulans in Nemesis, like we get these big alien extensions where we get to learn about that universe as well. And so I think First Contact does that so well with the Borg. We get this in-universe explanation and we learn about the Borg so much more, which then Voyager gets to have the benefit of. So I really love First Contact. Of course, we all know I love Drunk Troy. That's a fabulous scene there. Like, you know, and Kevin, you were talking at the top, like it's such a good blend of action and themes and, well, character development for Data and Picard. And great storyline and suspense. And it's just all there. It's very, very beautiful. I love First Contact and glad that we had this chance to talk about it.
Incoming transmission.
We'd love to hear your thoughts on today's show and hope you'll join the Facebook group, Federation Council Chambers. You're welcome to start conversations, talk to us about first contact, or anything else you would like to share with the group.
If you'd like to send us an email, you can email us directly at galaxyclass@ufp.earth, and we might read your email on the show. Also follow us on Twitter at GalaxyClassPod.
Please hit the subscribe button on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts to leave us a star rating and a written review. That helps others to find the show. You can also follow the entire network's podcasts with our master feed by searching for the United Federation of Podcasts. This way, you won't miss any of our fine shows like All Good Things, Franchise Fatigue, Always Hold On to Arrow, History with the Szilagys, Mickey's Marvels, Sasquatch, and Infinite Diversity.
So, Joe, where can people find you when you're not inserting yourself into a holodeck scene?
Yeah, do you know, if that was possible, would you leave? I don't think I would. No.
No.
Mm-hmm,
You know,
absolutely.
you'd be there in every random scene as an extra forever. Yes.
But when I'm not doing that, you can tweet me on the Twitter at JoeyJoe77UK. You can email me, joepodcasts@gmail.com, and you can get me on the Federation Council Chambers. Kevin, where can people find you when you're not dealing with the deep emotional stresses of being captured and physically and emotionally and mentally altered by a terrifying alien species?
And Kevin, blink twice if you've been assimilated to Santa Claus, because, you know, exactly.
Yeah, the assimilation process is ongoing. It can be terrifying, but also freeing in a way, too. But when I haven't been assimilated, you can find me on a couple of other podcasts I do with some other friends. I do True North Nerds, where we just recorded an episode last night about Ghostbusters and Star Trek Discovery and Wheel of Time and all kinds of things that we've been watching lately. And I do Stage Whispers with another couple of friends where we talk about live theater in my region, which is Central Ontario. And there's lots of things happening. Theaters are reopening. It's very exciting. You can find me on Twitter at True North Nerds and in the Federation Council Chambers. So, Amy, where can people find you when you are rocking out to Steppenwolf's Magic Carpet Ride?
Oh, yeah. I've heard that on so many different like TV commercials just recently. And I'm like, I just watched the movie and now I'm hearing the song. It's crazy. I am hosting All Good Things, and you can find that here on the network. I'm also on Union Federation Podcasts. So you can find me on Twitter at Miss Amy Nelson, and of course in the Federation Council Chambers group.
Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.
If you'd like to help us keep all of our shows coming to you each week, you can become a patron on the network on Patreon. Visit patreon.com/UFP Earth to get all the details. And a huge shout out, Dave V, for our very own show supporter. Thank you so much, Mr. Willett.
We would like to recognize our executive producers, who are Brandon Shea Mutala, Ken Tripp, Zach Moore, and Tony Robinson. We would also like to thank Zach Tripp for our opening and closing music, and Tony Robinson for our amazing artwork.
Thank you for beaming aboard Galaxy Class, and until next time,
assimilate this!
You broke your little ship.
Time? I don't have time to talk about time.
Engage.
This has been a production of MTMR Media Works.